Hey everybody, welcome back to No Stone Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some Witch from Mercury. But first of all, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our comments and see what everyone has to say. Up here at the top, we have Mari, with a cute little smiley face. Sorry for my grammar. I think Elin 5 screw over the other Elins too, because now Peel Company will be like, okay, we can't trust you guys, so die. When Ariel and the gun bits turn white, that means Ari finally reaches to permit score 8, which is her escape number out of the Gundam mobile suit. By the way, I think Ari might been part of the plan with Prospera, Belle, Mjorn, and Gould, because she said sorry to Soletta right after she got shut down. You guys mentioned that how come Eri didn't get out of the mobile suit during the Shadiq fight. That is because Eri reached permit score 6, not 8 yet. One moment. There's a lot of comment. Prospera mentioned it on episode 11 now that Jeturk House owns Ariel mobile suit, which isn't safe to use anymore because Ari might be gone. I wonder who's going to pilot it. I do love the contrast of the Mjorn greenhouse from episode 1 and the elevator scene from episode 3. Gotta give props to Ghoul for saving Suletta from Elin 5, confessing his love towards Suletta, and takes the rejection like a man. Even though I ship Suletta x Ghoul, but we all know the endgame couple is. Although Ghoul won the duel, I think he's going to keep Suletta's promise of protecting Earth House from being harassed by students, now that he changed and knows how Earth is struggling. Plus, Choo Choo saved his younger brother from the Rumble Ring attack. By the way, Suletta could have killed Ghoul by accident if Bjorn didn't press that birthday button, based on how powerful the green beam was in episode 12.
Yeah, I didn't realize. See, I skimmed this one before
Yeah.
I put it up on the block to be read. I didn't realize how many of my THETA'S thoughts section was covered in this comment.
Congratulations, Mari. You're our third caster now. Get on up here.
I mean, some of that I'll just wait and cover in my THETA thoughts areas because I don't want to just edit on the fly my notepad full of stuff. But I think like the power of the blaster comment thing was something I was saying as it was happening. I think it was, what did I say? Like, don't do that, don't fire that in here.
They are supposed to moderate those, so technically they shouldn't be killing people if it's an official duel. And I doubt Suletta has like modified it for death or something. But
Well, we already covered
Suletta
before.
Forgetta, you know.
Well, no, we covered before that Ares is a killer, so.
That is true. I do like the note here that what if Ari has been removed from Ariel and is part of the whole plan? That's something we got to see, but I think we're gonna put a pin on that. That's probably in your Theta thoughts somewhere.
It is.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the return of Ghoul, all of his good work. I'm digging it. I want to see more. I do think he will probably go ahead and follow through with his promises, and probably be a friend to Suletta as we go forward.
Well, you remember what his part of the duel was.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, that's right. Everyone's betrayed Suletta, by the way. So Suletta's gonna go through a couple of things this episode.
Man, what are you talking about?
The
Sorry.
engine.
Yeah. No, sorry. No. I was thinking that his part of the duel was what I just realized was only if Suletta won. I guess he doesn't technically have to do it, but he might still do it.
I think he's a good boy now.
Well, it doesn't cost him anything to do it.
I also like the idea that Ilin 5 has ruined things for everyone else, which is hilarious. Though I think the implication is that like Elin 1 to 4 were already liquidated and he knows he's next up on the block.
No, we
Whether or
don't
not to
mean...
get an Elin 6 though, who knows?
No, we covered this before as well, literally last episode when we said they can't do an Elin 6 or even let Master Elin go out because the risk is how are there two Elins in two different places? Because you can't control Elin 5 anymore. So anywhere he shows up is a massive danger to your, no, we're not experimenting on kids.
Sudden admittance that you have been doing some very unethical things. So yeah, no, thanks, Mari, for the comment. Lots of little insightful things there, and we'll see how much ends up in your brain later. So, Lee Hong Jun says, okay, at this point, we ever going to get a single episode where ever happy birthday song being played where there isn't any deaths, feeling heartbroken, pisses anyone off. I'm referring about number 4 in episode 6, by the way, or whatever it is, upcoming sad moment birthday song. No, we are not. It is going to be sad song forever. That is a lead motif of this show at this point. If you hear happy birthday, something's going wrong.
2 points of view. One, if you really liked Ghoul, then Happy Birthday was a great song. 2, Mjorn's birthday is today. It's entirely possible somebody else will sing it to her, and a happy thing will happen.
I think if I were to be master of writing on this one once again, if we have tragedy strike on every happy birthday, we end off the series with a happy birthday, symbolizing that things have changed and, the narrative is over.
Yeah, although it does kind of seem too on the nose, right?
Oh yeah, no, it would be 100% on the nose.
That's it, too much on the nose.
Jedi mind trick, my idea is good. Sorry, I kept doing that.
Then you forget the Jedi mind trick doesn't work on people that are too dumb.
Ah, dang, you're right. Let's see. Suboka Mary says, move forward game 2. And suddenly Mama Prospera is for once wrong, my dear Suletta. Are you going to realize this? Oh no, you poor Suletta. She's going to be in a very fun place this episode, and I'm wondering if she's going to go ahead and toss out that entire phrase for it.
I'm going to bring it up here, only because it said Mama Prospera. Not my theory. I've listened to this before in a couple of reactions, and I know it's existed on the internet before this. So I'm just, putting it out there. Not my thoughts, other people's thoughts. Not saying it can't be true, might be, but Suletta is not Prospera's daughter.
Ah, yes, the crazy theory.
Well, no. The Elin style theory. That Prospera took somebody, did the Elin treatment to them, which is wipe their memory, make them look like Eri would have looked, and went from there. Mm-hmm. So that's why Prospera doesn't give a shit. Prospera doesn't show up to her birthdays like 7 years in a row. Prospera, when there's danger and Planquita, runs to Ariel, not to Suletta.
Right. We've already seen in the story that some of these things are possible, and the reveal could be there. It seems more likely maybe Prospera just has other things that she cares about more, and not necessarily that Suletta's a clone. But it'd be funny.
No, that's the thing. Not a clone. Clone would be she's still related. Elin 5 is not related to Master Elin.
A manipulated adopted orphan.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say adopted either, because if you abduct somebody and then, what do you call it? You can break someone's mind.
It's just brainwash, I guess.
Yeah, I guess brainwash. Well, when you try to unbrainwash somebody, indoctrinate. We'll go with that one. If you abduct somebody as a child and then indoctrinate them, you're not technically adopting them.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, maybe that's why she was hated on Mercury. That she was one of their kids. Like Prospera.
Maybe the whole Mercury story's completely made up.
Prospera, bought one of the kids or, something, and then turned them into Suletta. And that's why they all hated who Suletta was, because they know what happened.
That feels super unlikely. That just final part of it feels unlikely. Why would this be allowed? Who would be okay with it? Who would not notice the suddenly missing kid or missing parents? That kind of stuff.
Well, no,
there's a lot of questions I have to it.
If she literally bought them, then nobody, because they're being paid not to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's There's a lot of stuff that would have to be covered to get there. Is all
Well,
I
now
think.
that you're so against it, I want it to be true all the more.
Naturally. So let's go ahead and check out what Long Hey Long has to say. Who says, "Haha! Finally, she struggles. Good. Love how Mjorn probably made the situation worse by revealing the situation in the worst way possible. Dumb on her part. Well, time for Suletta to run back to Mom. I am." Theorizing Ariel is now empty. Ari left the shell. Prospera also just gave Ariel to Ghoul. So, yeah.
I feel like that first line was you talking to me as though this was any other show.
Long Hae Long and I now both share the same feelings. Yes, we're sickos looking in through the mirror.
Well, no, though I'm constantly commenting, oh, these main characters, they not even a scratch on their ship. They don't have to do it with anything. And it's just like, you two coming back at me. Ha ha ha, now she has to struggle. As though I thought she wasn't the entire time.
Yeah, waiting for the moments like you're like, oh, Suletta just can't ever die. Oh.
Not that
This
kind of show.
episode, Happy Birthday plays, Suletta dies, and then Suletta 6 shows up.
We'll handle that in the recap. What we think is going to happen.
So that's what all of our commenters have to say. Theta, we have this special segment on our show called Theta Thoughts, where you're going to tell us all the thoughts in Theta's head. So, what do you got today?
All right. Let me scroll up here. Okay. Well, you gotta remember that I wrote some of them almost a week ago, so train of thought doesn't really play well when you're just reading your own thoughts out loud and wondering what the hell you meant. Sequence of events. Aerie activates override. Prosperous visor glows with permit lines. Happy Birthday starts playing. And then the handbook notification pops up. Under the please tap symbol is a tiny gray text that is hard to read, but it says the lyrics to Happy Birthday scrolling along.
Cute detail.
Well, it just, I guess my point in this one was all of that stuff happens, and then the notification pops up.
You know, it does make me think, is Prospera as traumatized by Happy Birthday as the rest of us are?
I doubt it if she chose. Well, it's hard to tell if she chose it or not, because it is technically Mjorn's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you understand what I'm saying. Aerie activates the override. First event. Prospera's visor glows with permit lines. Second event, which means that happens before anything else.
Right.
Happy Birthday starts playing. Again, independently of everything else. Which means Prospera's glowing, and then Happy Birthday plays. And then the notification pops up. Which means Prospera's lines glowing on the face happens before Aerie's shutdown thing happens.
She activated her life-threatening cybernetics in order to send a text message.
Well,
which is hilarious.
We don't know that because there's nothing attached to the helmet to her head to let us know it's a cybernetic of any type.
I'm going to go ahead and keep my theory. What's next?
I know she says in episode 2 that I need this to see because of an accident that happened on Mercury. But we know it's untrue because literally in the same episode she fucking takes it off and watches people as they're doing shit.
I want to go back and check that out at some point just to make double sure.
Like I said, I've rewatched all of season 1 twice, 3 times maybe.
So I'll just believe you for now. What do you got next?
That's for the basis of all of my arguments. I'm just going to believe you for now. For now is all I need. Aerie knows what's about to happen. When the override happens and the drones go into super mode, glowing extra white, there's a laughing sound when Prosper's helmet gets the glowing permit lines. And just before the screen is tapped to activate the program, Aerie says, "I'm sorry." Which I did go back a couple of times just to make sure it wasn't like Mjorn saying it and the scene crossing over with the voice line. Really, it is Aerie, which means that she already knew she was getting deactivated before it happened. Assumedly, she felt some form of regret, having listened to Suletta's plans for the future and knowing what was about to happen.
How do you feel knowing that Eri is less brainwashed than Suletta?
We already knew that. Cradle
Yeah.
Planet. You remember Cradle Planet? She wants me to be the sword, and Suletta's going to be the wielding that sword, and we don't need Suletta for this. Please, just let her have a normal life. All that was in Cradle Planet.
Gosh, the show where the Gundam itself is the real protagonist about to go wild. So what you got next?
Oh, no thoughts? Okay.
No, that was my thoughts.
Well, literally, this is the one that has the crossover with the first commenter, so I thought maybe if you had any thoughts there for the commenter and the Theta thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe she just shut down. I'm not sure she's gone yet.
She had to
That
know
probably
it.
be said in the first 5 seconds.
I didn't say anything about her being gone. See,
Oh, what?
I think the
Sorry,
problem
I was
is.
going back to the comments.
Yeah, I think your problem is that you launched into your own thought process, didn't voice it, and then stated your end goal for that thought.
I want to get here. How can I justify it? That's the proper way to do logic.
Well, as I was saying, nobody said that Eri was gone or whatever. So, but yeah, no, my point was that she knew it was coming. Because obviously she couldn't have said,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, while being deactivated or after being deactivated. She didn't know it was coming to apologize for it.
I do get the feeling that probably maybe those permanent lines from Prospera might literally just be talking to Eri then. Eri, it's time to go. We're going home. Come on.
Again, it still indicates that Eri is part of the plan. And I don't mean like she's part of the plan like bring a gun to the robbery. That's a part of the plan. I mean, hey, make sure that you have everything ready. You are a part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
That she is as in it as Ball is. Bell.
Right. This is the plan to return her to real space, after all.
Riddle space?
Real space.
I think
Meat
you're...
space.
See, here's the thing, Griff. Once again, you have come up with something in your head that you've not voiced out loud.
No, we've covered this one before because the entire Plant Kita Project Zero or Quiet Zero is to spread permit everywhere so that Eri can exist outside the Gundam. That's something we've stated here before.
No, it hasn't. We've not stated this out loud. I'm not in with you on this idea. Returning Eri to real space.
You don't agree with it doesn't mean I didn't say it before. So
no, you didn't elaborate or anything. You may have said it out loud, thinking your intention was clear. You've not stated this idea at all. Please elaborate.
No. I swear last time I did mention the entire point of Prospera's villain monologue, like an episode or two ago, was literally to say, my plan is to make a giant EMP bubble where Eri can exist as permit outside of the Gundam, and I can have my child back. What was the main point I was tying that back into?
Eri coming into real space, which is where this all started.
Yeah, so that's Eri coming back into real space.
Yeah, I think
the fact, real girl again.
I think the fact that again, one, no one commented on that, and two, I didn't realize you were even saying anything close to that, indicates that you did not say it well enough, which is why I was asking you to elaborate here. Because again, totally disagree.
Once again, Griff fails to persuade somebody who's not himself. Part 287. So, what do you got next in your brain?
Again, this should just be saying, if you have thoughts, please say them out loud before you just reach the end of the thought and say that out loud. It's important that we're all knowing what you're thinking. God knows I'm saying everything out loud.
Honestly, I might just be a little bit loopy today, so let's go see what's next.
The Darabalde has permit lines, and they get turned off when the aerial uses override. We've been told that the Darabalde uses an AI to control its drones, but the only other example of drones being used before was Sophie's, which was tied to it being a Gundam. Sorry, my vision went all blurry. It was tied to it being a Gundam. The Darabalde is doing all these same things while acting just like the aerial. Early in Season 1, I brought up the whole business room meeting when Peel is being confronted for testing Gundam technology by Vim, and they say, you know something about that, as some sort of throwaway line. What if the Darabalde is itself an aerial-type Gundam of Jeturk design? Something to stand up against Peel technology forays into the format. What if Vim knew about Quiet Zero before he attempted to assassinate Delling in Episode 1? He was already attempting to ally with Shadiq, who is also trying to bring Gundam tech back.
I love the second watch here that you can get of that, of Delling as the good guy, who the entire time knows of the plan, is like secretly trying to stop it, knows that it's gonna hurt everyone, and he just is constantly fumbling. He's our foolish fumbling hero. And then he smacks Ghoul.
Delling never smacked Ghoul.
I swear that was a scene. Maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway,
Vim smacked Ghoul.
Good enough.
Are you getting Vim and Delling mixed up?
I don't know. Am I?
Ghoul has never been in the same room as Delling.
But we're back to the top, where Ghoul's father is the fumbling hero.
So you are getting Vim and Delling mixed up. You just had a whole paragraph where you said that Delling was the fumbling hero, and now you're saying
I've had these names mixed up. Oh god, no, not on the internet. No, please.
Delling is Mjorn's dad. Vim is Ghoul's dad.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, correction. Vim was Ghoul's dad.
Yeah, so what else?
So no responses to the literal 2 to 3 questions asked in that paragraph.
I've already forgotten them. Let's keep going.
Awesome. Ghoul is the first person to survive a happy birthday.
No, that is a good joke.
It's true.
It is.
I guess it's
technically Suletta also survived the happy birthday. She's just not very happy about it.
It just depends on who the happy birthday is directed at. If it was directed, I mean, technically there's 3 targets here. Ghoul is either the first person, Suletta is either the first person, or Mjorn is the very first person.
Aries also on the table.
No one's singing happy birthday to Aerie. It's just Ghoul and Suletta are on the battlefield, so technically it could be directed at either of them, just playing out loud. But it is also technically Mjorn's birthday and playing on her notepad thing. So
we don't have to target people with it. Everybody suffers. It's fine.
Well, no. Remember, Aerie sings happy birthday at Nadim. Nadim dies. Suletta sings happy birthday at Elin 4. Elin 4 dies. Happy birthday is a targeted attack.
Oh, this is the day Mjorn dies. Got it. Okay. It's coming. Suletta goes rage mode, tosses Mjorn off the gun.
Well, they're not in the same place, remember?
They were standing on directly 5 feet in front of each other last I remember.
Well, you're not remembering right. Prospera boarded a space liner with Beale. Or Belmora, sorry. I don't know, I'm calling her Beale from now. Probably because we had that Gundam fight thing before. No, Prospera is on one of those spaceships with Belmora. Remember the last scene is the permanent lines go over the visor. She turns and thanks Belmora for whatever the fuck she did.
What's that have with Suletta and Mjorn? Then their positioning. Their final positioning was on top of Ariel.
Yeah, we were talking about Prospera.
Why was Prospera's not getting a happy birthday? She's not about to explode. Vim's dead. No more
Prospera. We had a whole conversation maybe 5 minutes ago that Prospera activated it with the visor thing.
I feel like, oh gosh, either I'm going crazy or you're confusing me. What's up next?
Would I gaslight you, Griff? Is that something I would do?
Don't you?
All right. Aerie is now transferred out of the aerial, probably into Quiet Zero, if not her mother's helmet, which is why Prosper wasn't concerned about Ghoul winning Ariel in the duel, as it's now just an ordinary mobile suit.
Yep, ordinary mobile suit, ordinary pilot. What's going to happen with Suletta, though?
All right. I'm going to need you on your game for this last one.
Okay.
Because this is the one that I've gone in-depth on. Well, no, I've gone somewhat in-depth on. I realized this morning while I was editing videos that I hadn't fully written it out. and the fact that I can't bring stuff up on screen without screwing up the cameras really messes with that. So this is my Charlie from Always Sunny corkboard lines thing. This is my real conspiracy. Okay. Quiet Zero is a survival strategy of plants being applied to humans. My reference to that is episode 15 and a quote said about Norette by Delling's second in command to Mjorn.
And of course, we've already established we have our biologist, geneticist mother here on the table.
Well, we know she's a biologist because she said that got said.
Grows tomatoes all the time.
Apropos of nothing. Well, okay. So maybe it has to do with the tomato connection. Sorry, I paused there. Like I said, I want you on the board here.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you don't miss a thing or get confused or think I'm gaslighting you. Maybe it has to do with the tomato connection because, again, the reference being said was about Norette, who herself was a botanist that made her own breed of tomatoes. All right? 3 main form of survival techniques in plants: rhizomes, symbiotic, parasitic. Closest thing in tomatoes I could think of was sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this, adventitious root, which is in the rhizome department, by the way. It's a root that arises from any point other than the radicle, the embryonic root, or the root axis of the plant. Most adventitious roots arise from stem tissues, but they can also develop from leaves. Now consider that if you were going to say that was from people, right? Stem tissue might be airy. The adventitious root then might be Suletta if we were going to metaphor this out. Also, here's the thing. Adventitious roots modified for aerial support are called prop roots or aerial roots. It's in the name. Aerial.
I'm so surprised you found this connection. But please continue.
Well, this is actually the end of the thought. I'm really hoping you have more thoughts. It's very much literally Quiet Zero is a survival strategy for plants. I looked, being applied to humans literally was said out loud in an episode. We know Norette was a botanist. She created her own breed of tomatoes. So I looked up, what are the survival strategies of plants? Specifically, what are the survival strategies of tomatoes? The adventitious root sounds like an offspurt of the plant, not directly from the original plant. Which means, if we think Suletta has anything to do with airy, Suletta is our adventitious root. But at the same time, the wording exists. Aerial is in the description of an adventitious root.
Right, so aerial is the thing that ties it all together, or the thing that got added in here?
Adventitious roots that are modified, also, by the way, something Prospero would have done to Suletta.
Modification is a big theme of our entire show here.
Yeah, it's either something Prospero did to Suletta, or the act of turning airy into permit and then putting her into aerial. The act of modifying airy turns into an aerial root. It's literally right there in the text, Griff. We just got rid of the word root.
All I can say is I cannot believe Big O continues to be relevant to this day, because they are the tomatoes. Again, they just are the tomatoes. It is in the text now.
If I had been thinking about it more, I would have done a little paint of a bunch of lines pointing at things.
Just insert the GIF "I am the tomato" in, and we're settled. You have found what the writer researched, Theta. Congratulations, you're on the same page.
As I said, everyone wants to know what the name of airy is. It's there in the name. It's all about tomato survival techniques. It was right there in front of our faces.
So what exactly does that make Suletta in this tomato theory?
Just what we thought she was. It doesn't change anything. It's like I added 15 steps between the step we knew and the step we knew. I've just explained it out with the information that we had.
You showed your work to the class. It was worth an extra 2 points of credit.
Oh, god damn it, if I had thought about it, I had like those little tiny little tomatoes in the fridge. I could have just grabbed one, like, ha! Proved it right! Oh.
You pull up like a tomato, you eat it. I pull up like an orange, I eat that, and you're just like, wait a second.
Well, yeah, no, that again, this was my Charlie day. Like, oh, you don't just see it. It's right there. It was all in front of us.
It all
Tomatoes.
ties back to Pepe Sylvia.
The survival techniques of tomatoes.
So,
no, that was,
what else
a rabbit hole. I just told you this was the last one.
Okay. So, I think we are all clear then. I think then, let's go ahead and talk about what happened last time real quick. No?
You already know there's something else. I don't know how you want to structure this out, so I'm trying to...
Well, I was hoping you would introduce it, but you didn't, so I just kept moving.
Yeah,
so, Theta, what are you going to introduce to us?
No, you've been introducing every segment. I'm just waiting for you.
Here on this podcast, we like to have a special segment called Safety Third. Wait, I'm sorry, wrong podcast. Here on this podcast, we like to have a segment called Theta listens to music and interprets all the lyrics. So, Theta, you've put in a whole lot of work looking at all the lyrics for the ending song here and trying to find some meaning here and applying them. So, I'm going to go ahead and ask, what do you got?
To be clear, I did send you the lyrics so that you could read them and formulate your own thoughts, so it's just not me speaking at you for the next 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, I don't think us just reading out an entire song is necessarily going to be good content. So I'm going to say, Theta, give us your best highlights here. What are the most relevant lines that you've seen, or the things that give us information about?
I'm going to have to edit this heavily because that's all I intend to do is read the lyrics of the song. Because unfortunately, I can't just bring it up on here and listen to bits. Because I also don't think that listening to a bit and pausing back and forth is also great content. But unfortunately, this is very important, though, so I do want to go over it.
So let's go ahead and try to hit it beat by beat, literally as quick, and see if we can get through that then.
I do like the Freudian slip here as quickly as possible. God, let this end. Please let this end.
Hey, I gotta schedule us up here, so let's go ahead and do it. So we got our first little phrase here, which is it's gone, the flower of my dream blooms yellow and gets covered in thorns. Can I move past my shattered wishes and protect you? So I think, Theta, the first big question I have for you is, who do you think is singing here?
I will also say that I included at the very end into this this section.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see how you would say at the very end, seeking, and losing it would be all one thing too. But I think at the very end works better in the narrative to a 5-liner.
It was the first full stop I saw.
Yeah, I guess the, Anyway, Mjorn regarding the person she thought Suletta was before the conversation about her mother. Yellow, the color of cowardice. Suletta, unable/unwilling to go against what her mother tells her to do. Thorns are the prickly defense of a beautiful thing in most metaphors. Maybe an allusion to her mother's control or manipulations. The shattered wish of being together with Suletta and moving on to more important things, like freeing her from her mother and making her a person that can stand alone.
Okay. So our perspective then is Mjorn thinking about Suletta, singing about how she wants her. Okay.
Well, I don't think Mjorn is singing in this end song. I think the lyrics are from that perspective. If I was like an artist, I would draw Mjorn on one side looking at Suletta, right? Not that Mjorn is singing to Suletta. I
didn't mean to cut you out. There you go. That's a meme from 10 years ago.
I don't even know that song.
Oh, God, that was like constantly on for a while. Anyway.
I'm not a radio listener.
We're talking about a different song here. So, like you said, we have our next little bit of phrase. At the very end, seeking, and losing it, I saw my colorless self and strangled it. Alright, there's some brutal imagery. This red-tinted senses look so beautiful. I stabbed through the ambiguous justice. The pain I've created melts together with fate. That is a whole lot.
You seem to be reading something into that. Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm saying these are a lot of very powerfully worded visual metaphors, And I'm going to now ask, so what do we actually apply that to? My colorless self and strangled it? Like Mjorn moving past the fact that she just didn't want to do anything?
I believe this section to be a reflection of where Mjorn has come from to what she's done. Mjorn runs away from the school time and again, trying to find independence and freedom, and constantly fails. She's
Mhm.
colorless, both a pale girl with white hair, but also in a life without meaning. Suletta comes into her world and inspires her. She stands up to her father when he tries to have Ariel destroyed because he said so. But then we come back to the most foremost thought. She hurt Suletta, and maybe she isn't. Maybe she is just her father's daughter.
Uh, I stabbed through the ambiguous justice, though.
Yeah, that's what I just said. She stood up against her father, who claimed Ariel was a Gundam because he said so. That's ambiguous justice. I'm right because I'm in charge. Ambiguous justice. Mjorn stands up against it. She stabs through it. Ambiguous justice.
So let's see if I can figure out where the next good stop here is. So we got call me distortion, call me distortion. Hey, please forgive me. This knife is your beautiful future, but even so, it's going to be so painful.
Stop.
Yeah, that seems like a
Uh,
reasonable play. So like, continue. No, that's a good stop.
anything? You got anything on your end?
Uh, the knife has to refer to something or some sort of action here. Uh, let's see. Even so, it's going to be so painful. Dreams is. I guess honestly, maybe that's a hint to last episode, specifically hurting Suletta to make things better.
Yeah, I think very much in my breakdown, at least, of these song lyrics, the last episode was the turning point that makes them all make sense.
And I guess as far as Call Me Distortion, I cannot think of a single moment Mjorn has been perfectly clear outside of episode 12
Well,
or
yeah, I
11.
kind of wrote out the Call Me Distortion part. I think it's just an unhinged sort of thing that we're just in an unquiet bit. But
It's a
the
vibe.
yeah, but the last three lines show that Mjorn still dreams of the same future and hopes that Suletta will forgive her for what she feels she must do. The knife being the betrayal and how painful it is going to be to make her lose everything in order to make her into the stronger, independent person that she needs to be.
Right. So let's see what spoilers we can get from the next bit. So let's see, where do we leave off? Painful. The dreams I see with one eye are full of things I don't even want. Let us both look together. It is now within our view. That's just looking ahead.
The view of the future, other people keep telling her she should have one eye, isn't the one that she wants. After she's done with her current plans, they will both be free to explore the lives they could want without other people saying what they should be.
Yeah, it's like 4 lines here, but it really does just cover one thought. It's gone, the flower of my dreams, blooms yellow and gets covered in thorns. Look, our wounded bonds go beyond the pain and melt away, cells
Wait,
swirling in dozens.
I think the three lines there are a singular thought.
All right, what special meaning you get out of this one?
Well, because it's a reprieve of the original. It's gone. The flower of dreams blooms yellow and covers our thorns. That's just the same as before, and now it just has a different end line to it. Mjorn believes that what they had is stronger than what they're going through right now, and once all this is over, the pain will go away.
Okay. Cells swirling in dozens, fading dreams. A cyborg's eye manipulates your colorless self. I have the colors that won't make you sad. That's why I stabbed that perfect fake. Let my distorted self embrace you. Hold me distortion.
But yeah, I find the distortion things kind of irrelevant at the moment.
I felt I could probably just wrap that in because it makes more sense in this phrase than the next phrase, I think. Uh, so yeah, seeing Suletta as she Mjorn seeing Suletta as she saw herself, I think, is probably the important part. Being manipulated or attempted to be manipulated by their parents.
The 12 copies of Airy, reflections of a past that is as distant as a dream. The cyborg's eye is obviously Prospera's vision of the future, informing Suletta of what to do. Colorless as described before, being the version of Suletta with no will of her own. Mjorn interjects that she will Mjorn interjects that she has the will that won't make her sad, and that the person she hurt was the fake Suletta her mother had made, a perfect fake of Airy.
All right, yeah. So your perfect fake, the thing I was going to bring up, you think is just the persona Prospera has dropped upon Suletta.
Yeah, she's the
Okay.
person Prospera has made. Again,
Uh,
the allusion to One Eye's vision before, and now we're getting a cyborg's eye. So they're all clearly allusions to what specific people are seeing.
All right. So after they hug it out, hey, please forgive me. This caress is your radiant future, but even so, it's going to hurt so much. It shines so bright, your voice, but I can't reach it anymore.
Yeah, you didn't cut that where I did. Also, you went a little bit not as far as I did on the next one.
So let's see. This is just kind of like rephrasing, I think, things that we've already identified, which is Mjorn does want to create a good future for that Suletta and herself. And this is just kind of the process of it. I'm not sure there's more to read in here, things that we can like expect to see, other than she's gonna do it again.
Mjorn begs forgiveness for getting so close to her, despite what she's going to have to do to her. Now, you cut off on, but I can't reach it anymore. I would have cut off at when has it started, I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
To which she recalls the moment where she discovered that Suletta's voice wasn't her own, and that the thoughts and feelings of the girl she got close to were distant words of someone else, and wondering how long ago it was that they were put there.
Yeah, there's a funny twist to be had there. If Mjorn goes like, "Wait a second, this was just all stuff that you told Suletta. I actually like you, Prosper,"
Well,
and then they ally up, and then funny alternate universe.
I mean, we know that Mjorn has already realized that the things that Suletta says come from her mother, and then the fact we had that scene where she says, "This is just like my mother said."
Mm-hmm.
So we already know that's a truth.
Right? Yeah. There's So I guess the question is, what other qualities does Suletta have that haven't been injected by her mother?
Again, that's what the song is telling us.
All right, let's keep an eye out for it. So, when is it started, I wonder, was where we left off. So, despite my eyes staring directly into hope, all I can say, all I can see are things that I don't even want to think about. To say it doesn't hurt is such a lie, but I can't help but want to look. Uh, so hey, you remember the blood splatter? I don't think anyone wants to think about that.
What blood splatter?
The end of season 1, pancake moment.
Oh,
I'm fairly confident this is a reference to Mjorn realizing that out of anything that can happen, probably a lot more death might be involved here somewhere. Or at least other forces are definitely going to push it to happen.
my interpretation is that this time we look out with Mjorn's own vision to the future at things that she wants. Even there, she has to consider all the painful things she needs to do to get there, lying to herself about how much it will hurt, but not being able to stop herself.
Mm-hmm. In the dreams I see with one eye, there is nothing worth holding on to. Put your hand in mine and let us look together as one. Uh,
Referencing Back to the Future, she sees for herself there's nothing else she cares about but Suletta, so
mhm.
instead of just having one vision for the future, she wants them both to see the same future together.
There you go. Uh, let's see. Since that's just a refrain, let's just take a look at the last little bit here. Let's do it all at once. This red birthmark, let me tear it off. Let us both look together. It's now within our view. The flower of my dreams is already gone. It's now tinted in red and has turned into a star. So, yeah, this red birthmark. I wonder what that could be. Certainly, there's been no red markings upon individuals throughout this entire series that means anything in particular, right?
I'll admit I have not referenced anything to the distortion or the red birthmark. Let's tear it off bit because I mean it's either too on the nose or it's just their flair to make the song their own.
I think Eri dies at the end.
Is that your interpretation of the last 4 lines, or just the red birthmark
I
bit?
I think the last few lines here give me that impression that that's the way it's got to be. The red birthmark here has got to represent Eri. This is the thing that ties it together. At some point, Eri is sort of the antagonist or the thing in the way between allowing Suletta to be free. At some point, Prospera slash Suletta will have to let go of the past, which is let Eri just not be Gundam permit forever. So Eri dies at the end. And I think that is how it concludes, and Suletta is free, and Mjorn and Suletta get to go off and be happy.
Is that your interpretation of all 6 lines?
I think that kind of folds together. The flower of my dreams that's already gone is now tinted red and turned into a star. Could probably mean a lot of things. I think my interpretation, given everything I've just said, is like the tinting red is very much the Suletta gonna kill again line.
Alright. I only really interpreted the last 4, but I do have something to say to what you just said about the birthmark thing. So let me finish off on the 4, and then I'll circle back to the tearing off of birthmarks.
Sure.
As though that's something you can do. Continuing the previous thought of them both sharing a future together and having the same vision of it, her old ambiguous wish for what her future would be now changed by the presence of Suletta and how important she is to her. Again, most of the things I've said are basically ambiguous in themselves because it only points to the direction that she wants to go. The song literally spelling out for us that Mjorn has to hurt Suletta in order to make her into a real person instead of being what her mother crafted her to be, which, as we know from Cradle Planet, is a sword. Also, gonna lean back to Cradle Planet to rebuke what you said about Red Birthmark. That Eri isn't something that stands in her way. Eri is literally, I feel like, the only thing standing up against Prospera on Suletta's behalf. Because of the perspective that we got from Cradle Planet.
So then, what would be your interpretation of what is the red birthmark? Is that just Prospera's desire for revenge?
I mean, I would probably agree that it still represents Eri, but not in the way that you say it represents Eri, because you're saying...
And we gotta tear Eri off.
Well, no, in the way that you're saying that Eri serves as, like, the antagonist and stands in her way, I'm saying that no, she is literally... Even if they're not related, Cradle Planet still stands to reason that they are family. Eri cares about Suletta. That's why she begs Prospera, please don't make Suletta do this. I'll do this. We can do this. Please let Suletta be a good girl like she is. I think red birthmark just means her hair, right? The red birthmark is...
Tear off her hair, of course.
No, it's... Tear it off is metaphorical. That her red hair is essentially a physical representation of what ties her to Eri, especially if we think that she's like an Elin, and that she is not even actually Eri connected at all. But it's just a representation. This red hair, because nobody else, by the way, that we've seen in the entire show has red hair. It's a very apt representation in the show of what connects Suletta to Eri.
Right. So, I think just to go ahead and put a finer point on what I was thinking, like via the antagonist Eri thing, I think I more mean that Suletta and Bjorn will not find peace while Eri and, more pertinently, the Gundam continue to exist. That is a very Gundam thing to think about. That peace can only be had once you put away the weapons.
Can you take your headset off just for 1 sec?
Sure thing. Go ahead and not spoil me.
when he says that, I feel like 8th MS team, right? Where you still have the lovers and you still have the end of the battle and everything, and they hobble off together. But at the same time, it's not the end of the war. Nothing gets solved. So the whole Gundam thing could remain unresolved, while at the same time they still do their thing together. Waving them on back. Sorry, there was a really good point I had to make about why you were wrong, but it would spoil everything if I told you out loud.
But for which thing?
A series we're not watching at the moment, but may one day. I know you don't really care
Overly
about spoilers.
protective Theta.
Yeah, I know you don't care about spoilers, but we do have a pretty good Gundam-sized audience, and it was one of the better Gundam series, so it might show up relatively soonish. So
well, good to know I was on the right track.
No, I was literally arguing against you.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But the fact that you had to do it to Spoiler Town gives me confidence.
Yeah,
So,
I guess it stands to show that there are other Gundam shows that have had similar themes that I could use.
So let's go ahead and quickly go over what happened last time on Precious Things, where Mjorn accepts Prospera's demand in return for her freeing Suletta, although the latter warns that her daughter will not part with Ariel willingly. Meanwhile, Shadiq proposes an alliance with Peel Technologies, offering the rights to Gundam Inc. in return for their support in the election. At Astasia, Ellen confronts Suletta and demands the Ariel, but Ghoul, who just re-enrolled, chases him off, forcing him to blackmail Grassley House and hiding him with Nuria and Nika to escape punishment. Ghoul opens up to Suletta about the situation and once again confesses to her, but she turns him down. However, having overheard their conversation, Bjorn has him challenge Suletta to a duel after telling him about Prospera and striking a deal. She will marry him and help his company recover in return for winning the duel, with the bet being ownership of the Ariel.
Yeah, the whole win back your bride thing that Mjorn says during the episode.
Yep.
Which is a very twist us back. Sorry, I actually thought you were done when you paused.
Oh no, there's more. In the end, despite being traumatized by his father's death, Ghoul manages to win thanks to the Ariel shutting down upon its gun format, reaching the level required for Quiet Zero due to a virus that Prospera had Bjorn upload into it. Afterwards, Bjorn approaches Suletta, reveals her sabotage, and takes away her holder title, leaving her heartbroken.
I will point out that, again, this is actually a series where nobody knows what's happening ahead of time, so literally the people writing this know as much as we do, so a lot of that is just agreed upon supposition.
Right. I think we've evolved our thesis about the exact button thing, though first reading, looking directly at it, yeah, upload virus, it turn off. It makes the most simplest sense.
Well,
right?
no, it says that Mjorn uploaded the virus. Well, then why did Prospera thank Balmora when she got on the ship?
Doesn't she probably wrote it.
Does she write it? It doesn't seem to me that Balmora knows much about writing viruses, considering she's a geneticist. She does the whole Elin thing.
I don't know. She's got 3 degrees, man. What do I know?
It seems more likely that she just uploaded the virus. Because you remember the previous scene where Elin gets chucked from Ariel? And he says, "You've got to help me. I'm going to report you to the higher-ups." It seems more likely that she's literally in the hangar with Ariel, right there, Balmora. That she then uploads the virus while she's there. More so that Mjorn, in a scene unseen, does it.
Well, sorry. All I gotta say is we got the text there, and we got what people think happened, obviously.
Which is why I'm correcting them. I'm saying to you, the internet, you're wrong. And when they say, "Yo, you think you know more than we do?" And I say, "Yes. I have researched this show and watched it many more times than you do." So,
How
yes.
dare you be wrong on the internet, people? You have no shame.
Look, if I'm going to be a nerd about anything, I'm a nerd about Witch from Mercury. So I know you're wrong. Balmora uploaded that virus. And if I'm not vindicated by the episode here, The non-vindication is just itself vindication.
Right. So, I think we've covered a whole lot of things that happened already, like in a lot of our talking here just now. But I think the thing that I'm going to say I'm excited for again is Suletta is currently in an absolutely vulnerable state, is an absolute wreck, and what happens next to her, I have no idea. She could completely go off. She could shut herself off from the world. She could try running to Prospera, or she could just get beaten up because she's part of Earth House or something.
Yeah, the internet has been awash with crying Tanuki pictures. Yeah, I'm gonna say if I was like role playing Suletta in like a tabletop game or something, I would not know where to go with her because it's like immediately out of your depth in like one session of game. It's like, okay, this is what my character is about, and then the GM goes, I'm gonna take that all away from you, and you're now sitting there angry. This isn't everything my character was about. What?
I do have to revisit the crying Tanuki thing because Suletta expressing her sadness via emoji sounds completely appropriate.
Well, because that's all she does in that scene, right? She's because it's so that Simpsons thing, you know, Lisa and them watching TV. Oh, you can see exactly the moment where his heart breaks.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, it's that whole
There you
gif.
go. So this was the stabbing with the knife, the twisting of it into the heart. I guess we just kind of got to see what happens next, right? Do you got anything you want to say about the upcoming episode?
Expectations are that I think one, Suletta is going to try and contact Prospera and be unable to.
Uh-huh.
And two, I think that Ghoul is probably going to fulfill his dueling obligation, that if he lost, even though he didn't lose, to have Jaturk House try and help out Earth House.
Yeah, I think they're trying to ally up anyway, so it makes sense regardless of any other motive.
Well, they're not trying to ally up. Mjorn and Ghoul are. Yeah, which is basically the Benneret Group's princess, or whatever you want to refer to her as, and Jaturk House. Has nothing to do with Earth House. Right. The fact that Mjorn is part of an honorary member of Earth House is coincidental and literally has nothing to do. One would assume, in fact, that Earth House would be angry at Mjorn right now.
There you go. So let's go ahead and watch and see what happens. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. Top of all that, if you want more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. Soul Sport Challenge is a little bit extra. Backstory.
No, we actually literally covered this. Back in our early episodes, we actually discussed the meanings of words that were on the website.
Target practice.
I mean, this is good to see. I mean, I'm sure a therapist could say, no, she's like burying it all down and not dealing with it, but for me, she's literally like doubling down. I'm gonna win everything now.
Of course, she's me like there's no way she's okay. It's just drama for all of them, too.
Just working that list.
Focus on the list. Think of nothing else.
Celebrate. I didn't see it. Celebrate a birthday. Didn't get the second line.
Celebrate a birthday without anyone dying.
No. May have been celebrate a birthday with Mjorn.
Probably.
Celebrate a birthday. God damn it.
I think it was actually literally on the list last time.
No, it's always been on the list. She made the list and she I think the thing is, you don't make a long list like that and just start adding shit to it.
Hey, look, she did get to do it anyway. She got to give Bjorn the best birthday gift ever: control of the galaxy.
No, I'm guessing at what it was. I'm clearly gonna have to go back and rewatch it, to figure it out.
I love just like the couple of frames of like the last two people on the student council who care.
Well, I mean, which people are you talking about?
Our two dueling associates who are supposed to be there managing the whole thing.
Literally, you did not tell me anything. The only dueling associate,
The people on the couch.
the only people in the dueling council are the dueling associates. Everybody on the dueling council is a dueling associate. They all typically sit on a couch. Even Shadik has sat on the couch, Griff.
And there's just two people left on the couch.
No, they're all still part of the council. You're not telling me. What are their names? Which house are they in?
お願いします。弊社にはあなた方の協力が必要なんです。各子会社の統合は期日はいつだったかな。果たせないようでは融資の話はなしだ。ビムジェタークの息子くん。
And they just all end call. Oh.
融資元はうなずかん。必要なのは俺の実績か。
Those earrings, though.
御社には未発表の新型モビルスーツがあるはずでは。新型?
The one we talked about between seasons.
Yeah.
The
Schwartz, yes, we even named it.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. You're telling that to the person who helped test pilot it.
Yeah, we were all guessing there was going to be a Gundam, but we were all trying to figure out who the pilot was.
その機体、株式会社ガンダムとジェターク社の共同開発として発表するのはいかがでしょう。
Yeah, just lie to him. Of course that's Prosperous advice, just girl boss it more.
飲めないわね。株式会社ガンダムはモビルスーツの開発には関与しない。ガンダムの技術は医療のために役立てるって決めたから。
総裁選を勝つためには先ほどと同様実績が必要です。
Yeah, you need to lie about your backstory to make it seem like you've always been on a winning track.
分かってるわ。今度はこっちが約束守る番。
ありがとうございます。
っていうか、あなた今どこにいるのよ。
グラス列車です。
は？
ぜひともお話ししたいって熱烈に誘われちゃいまして。
My first thought is, fuck, we need to kill Prospera. She's giving all our shit away.
She's still doing her thing. No one can stop her. I see she's also a programmer.
使用書の通りですよ。エアリアルのデータストームネットワークを拡張するモビルスーツ型ガンビット、ガンドノードです。
I literally only got as far as the purpose of Gun Node is. And we switched pages.
グラスレーはガンダムに否定的だったはずでは。
早急な信用回復のためには手段の好き嫌いなど選んでいられませんよ。
Prospera literally playing both sides. Whoever wins, she wins.
回収できなかったと伺いましたけど。
But we already know that Grassley and Peel are aligning themselves together to make Gundams.
たとえ損壊していても手に入れたいんじゃありません。それとも回収されると何か不都合があるのかしら。
シャディク。
いや、よりね。グエルは元気そうで何より。
シャリク、断りなしにミオリネの子会社と取引とはどういうつもりだ。
勧誘さ。総裁選のために支援してくれる企業を集めている。
あんたも総裁選に。
Yeah, I guess technically Prospera works for Mjorn.
Yeah, technically true.
総裁選、君たちの相手は御三家のうち2つだ。投票まであと2週間。楽しみにしてるよ。
温度のチェックと日照パターンの調整。
I was actually kind of hoping for more Shadikin versus Prospera there, but I think they're just on the
They
same
just
page.
brought up the fertilizer, which we all heard about.
Mm-hmm.
あいつあんだけ嫌ってた親父の後継ぐんだろ。それでジェタークのボンボンを選んでこっちはもういらねえって。身勝手すぎんだろ。ミオリネさんは悪くないです。はあ？なんでだよ。私が悪いんです。ミオリネさんとの約束破ったから。ミオリネさんに釣り合うって勘違いしてた私がバカだったんです。
Suletta, no.
てめえら。
ミオリネもホルダーも今はすべて兄さんのものだ。お前はもういらないんだよ。空っぽの水星女。
好き放題言いやがって。
君とやり合う気はない。
んだと？
チュアチュリーパンランチ。オープンキャンパスでは助けられた。礼を言う。
Yeah, okay, he actually came here to do something.
ありがとな。
Was it just to insult Suletta?
それ関係ねえだろうが。
That was just coincidental.
最初から私には何もなかったんです。なのにホルダーとか花婿とか間違ってるって。なんで今まで気づかなかったんだろう。なわけねえだろ。チュチュ先輩。
Cute, answering with more violence.
本社に行く？
ミオリネに会ってくる。マルタンは留守番な。ティコたちのご飯は頼んだ。
Yeah, Suletta's kind of handling everything the Boji way. Don't
Good
let
to know
him,
Bart.
don't let him see you cry method.
またいたずらされちゃうかもですし。
動いてる方が気が紛れるっつな。
チュチュ先輩。私大丈夫ですから。ミオリネさんとのこと納得してる。うっせえ。いいか？お前が受け入れてるふりしてんのが悪いんだぞ。思ってることちゃんとミオリネに言え。じゃねえと許さねえからな。はい。
おし、そうと決まれば。
I love how bossy Chu is. It's so good.
通話じゃダメなの。変わったね、チュチュ。
Ah, Martin.
話し合うより先に手が出てた君が一体どうしたんだ？ニかねえならどうすんのかなってさ。
The ship is still sailing.
奴らから礼言われてニかねえの気持ちちょっと分かった気がしたんだよね。つうわけで行ってくら。彼らが来ても無茶するなよ。
Martin all alone with head injury.
何書いてるのさ。
あなたに教える必要が。
警戒してるんなら心配いらないよ。グラスレーとフォルドの夜明けがつながってたなんて他の誰にも話してないからさ。
How could you? You've been hanging out in their hideout.
エランさんですよね。
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to like say his real name or something.
全然。
別人だよ。
え？
君たちが知ってるエラン・ケレスとは総裁候補。俺を指名してくれればよかったのに。
ペイルグレードの判
Oh, here's the real one.
今はまだあなたの出番ではないと。
評価システム？
ペイルは独自の AI を使って自社のリーダーを選出するんだ。その中でトップグレードを誇るのがエラン・ケレスご本人様。でも
And we discussed all the AI stuff when we were breaking down the
モビルスーツに乗れるバック
Yashura's amusement park.
決闘で勝つためにですか？
それもあるけど、僕らは本来ガンダムを克服するためのモルモットだから。データストームの体制を
I'm right here with Nika. Eh?
それが僕ら強化人士。まあそれでも死んじゃうんだけどね。
じゃあファラクトに乗ったら
死ぬよ。ガンダムに乗れば誰だってね。おかしいのはあの水星女とエアリアルの方さ。ねえ、あいつら一体何者？
よくもそこまでペラペラと。
もう隠す必要ないだろう。そういう君は
These are the people, the audience in the back seats who haven't figured it all out yet.
本当に？
ないって言ってます。
そっか。空っぽだからアーシアンのためなんて理由作っちゃってるわけだ。
Oh, hit a bit of a mark.
あなたたちスペーシアンは全員殺す。それ以外に理由が必要ですか？
本当はガンダムに乗りたくないんじゃないの？
黙れ！
素直になろうよ。命の安い者同士さ。
There you go. Solidarity between people who are gonna kill themselves piloting weapons.
適正価格とかけ離れすぎでは。
父さんの命には変えられない。指定された地球企業が最優先だ。
グループの事業譲渡順調ね。
社内にこの状況を疑う人間はいないよ。
議会連合に報告しておくわ。
先手を取られたな。
あちらはすでに多数の支
Yeah, really losing the election so far.
シャディクが動くことは想定できた。でもペイル
Considering they've made all of one move and then spend a lot of time dueling.
当初はデモによる抗議活動と見られていましたが、アーシアン側の武装集団がベネリット関連施設を襲撃。重火器の使用も確認されており、両陣営に
Yeah, we got hints of this 2 episodes ago in the news report at the beginning of the episode.
犯人捜索の名目で不当な治安活動を
Drone war era.
あいつらの怒りは
Oh, calamity war all over again.
止められない。
だったら私たちで止めてみるのはどう？
何？
デモ側と直接対話する。うまく収めれば実績にもなるでしょう。
地球に行くつもりか？
当たり前じゃない。
What do you think you are? The Maiden of Rebellion?
こちらも武力を示さなければ対等な交渉は成立しませんよ。
ならエアリアルを使うわ。
エアリアルを？
レギュレーションは学園仕様のまま、武器もなし。プラントクエタのようなことも絶対させない。私たちの理念のコンセプトになってもらう。この交渉で示してみせれば、私と株式会社ガンダムは、これからのベネリットグループは、戦いじゃなく、命を救うんだって。
Queen Harbor.
地球に？
クイーンハーバーの暴動を収めるつもりだし。
I'm not sure that's a real location.
今度は地球だって。
Oh, come on, don't slap Lotta like that.
すみません。搬入先に行きたくて教えてくださいます？
どちらへ？
78番ハンガーです。
そんな番号は？
あなた方申請者がプラントクエタでいつも申請する場所ですよ。
They know.
お話。
Well, Mjorn made that agreement, remember?
僕は
A couple episodes ago.
罪を犯してるとして通報しました。罪は罪です。僕は寮長として仲間を守りたかった。何もおかしくない。
I love the little Haro shrine.
正しいですよね。え？
あんたとんだ裏切り野郎だね。
ご自身で判断なさいとは進言し
What was that room?
もう決めたの。
Probably like a counseling thing.
私の配下のものをお二人の警備に加えていただきたい。ドミニコス大使でケナンジ・アベリーです。ケナンジ隊長？はい、何か？いえ。
Going to Earth,
よろしくお願いします。
where Suletta's gonna run into you with the guy that killed Ares' dad.
He's such a happy guy for having killed so many people.
ダチに会うのになんで予約が必要なんだよ。とりあえず申請しましょうか。
スレッタが来てる？
いかがなさいますか？
エリ？
頑張れよ。
Yeah, clearly when her helmet lights up, she's talking to Eri. The same way the
Yeah, that
inside
makes a lot more
the cockpit lights up when Suletta's talking to Eri.
ミオリネさん、こんなところに。エアリアル、どうしてここに？乗っていいの？
luring her back in. It's a trap.
もう会えないのかなって思ってた。私、ミオリネさん
Looks like they're basically family, even if not related.
約束、私が破ったから。
Is Eri gonna tell Suletta?
お母さんの言う通り。でも、わかんないの。フォルダーじゃなくなって、決闘しなくてよくなって、みんなと勉強して、一緒にランチも食べておしゃべりできて。それでもミオリネさんがいないのは、会えなくなっちゃうのは嫌だって。進めば2つって、今は思えない。
Does Suletta have permit?
I think we've talked about that before, and I thought we were thinking no.
Because how else would she be able to see this?
水星154年63日。今日のゲームはディギングキング。スコアは64で僕の勝ち。もう一回って泣いて諦め
Cradle Planet!
お母さんがホットココアと蜂蜜のキャンディーを一つ。エアリアル？太陽風で暖房は止まっていたから飲みかけのマグカップ。君はコクピットに当ててこうすればあったかいよって。
That's adorable as a detail.
Told you, more than one.
みんな鍵はあなたでしょスレッタ。データストームの中でしか生きられないエリーの代わり。肉体のないエリーの代わり。エリーの体、エリーの手足、エリーの拡張意識。それが私たちカブンの子。どういうこと？
What a name.
君たちは僕の遺伝子から作られたリプリチャイルドってことだよ。
Okay, he's clone then.
Yeah.
お母さんが覚えてないの？でももう大丈夫。クワイエットゼロがエリーの居場所作ってくれる。だからスレッタはもういらないの。違うよ。だって私。
She does, permit!
Okay. Good clarification.
Holy crap, is she killing Suletta?
Literally with a, we don't need you anymore.
Oh, baby Suletta and dying Eri.
わかった。スコア8なら僕は自分の意志で動ける。パイロットはもう必要ないんだ。やだ。だから君はこれ以上すがっちゃいけない。やだ待ってよ。僕にもお母さんにも。
Eri literally trying to warn her a little. Oh my gosh. Oh, hey, Prosper, what up?
お母さん、嘘だよね。エアリアルがおかしくなったんだよね。
いいえ。エリクトの言う通りよ。学園に戻りなさい、スレッタ。あそこならあなたの胸を埋めてくれる。
I'm gonna count this as being half wrong. I said Prosper would abandon Suletta. Well, she didn't meet up with her. She did literally just abandon her into space with like an emergency beacon.
いいの、エリ。あの子も一緒に行くことだって。 そうね。スレッタは自由に生きていいのよね。
Ah. Oh, it all hurts. Oh, Suletta, no.
Crying she's finally been abandoned by literally everyone.
Quite literally alone in the universe. What a great shot.
Well, it's crazy that she was made with the permit in her, though. Knowing that permit will kill you if you use it too much. I guess that's how she was able to communicate with Aerie all this time. That answers that question. There's
Okay,
no way that all the glowing shit meant anything. It just means that she was communicating with her, and now we know it was through the permit link.
I think it was still a more vague communication than up until that point, where Aerie literally reveals and goes, "No, look, see, we're just like a whole bunch of like arms and legs. We're totally cool. By the way, we don't need you."
Oh no, it wasn't communication via... I don't know, because she wasn't actually surprised to see the girls. She was surprised by, why do you look like me? But anyway, It was very clearly that's how she was communicating, through the permit link. So that answers that. God, there's so much. So much to figure out now. And I guess she's been fully released. Well, I mean, goes right
and
back.
Then we add in
goes
the
right
drama
back to Cradle Planet, though, because you remember Ariel begged Prospera not to include Suletta, and now she finally got Prospera to let Suletta go. So it's all calling back to Cradle Planet.
次回機動戦士ガンダム水星の魔女一番じゃない
Not the greatest way for to introduce a new episode. How are we gonna do it? Not the best way.
Oh dear. Alright.
God, when we do a ranking of episodes at the end of the series, it's gonna be rough.
It is going to be impossible to choose a best episode because they're all the best.
Well, I mean, like, we know, like, top 3 from last season, but stacking them up against this season's is gonna be hard.
Oh boy.
And we're only, 8 in? So, Jesus.
So we have a lot more of, like, the lore elements, which we've covered before. We made our theories, and apparently we were right all along. So how does that feel?
Well, yes, we know everything. This is our show, right? Every other show we can be wrong on. Well, maybe not Heavenly Delusion. I still feel like we're 100% on that one, too. Shows like this and Heavenly Delusion, we are in for. We are on it. But, I mean, just more so because this one, we, like, investigated the bonus stories. We've listened to the audio plays. We've read mangas that deal with the backstory of this episodes. Or this world, anyway. Like, we are in it. We are in it more so. I have comments on the Gunpla wiki, not wiki, the Gunpla Discord, where I'll make a reference and people are like, who? I'm like I talked about Yashura, right? How Bjorn has literally just dumped somebody from her past off to the side before. And they're like, who? I said, from Yashura's amusement park. The what?
Did you not read the additional short story alongside in the back of the novel, kept in the basement in the bathroom with a sign that says "Beware of Tigers"? You didn't go look at that?
So close to a Douglas Adams reference. So close.
I know. I was starting in one direction. I shifted another. You know,
it's beware of the leopard.
So, we got all of our lore bits in there. I think we need some time to stew on those, but we spent enough time on those. We got the drama this episode. We've constantly been harassing Prospera about, like, oh, she doesn't care about Suletta. Suletta's disposable. Oh, she's gonna totally, like, kill her or something. But no, both Aerie and Prospera are, like, have this, like, short little human moment of going, it's like, no, we do care about her. The best thing really is for her to live a peaceful life at school and find happiness with other people. If she can just push away from all this Gundam nonsense that we're doing, she'll be happy and we can go have revenge, and that's good.
I mean, sort of, but not really. Prosper's pulling from the other angle. Prosper wants to bring Suletta with still. And then she agrees with Ariel. Okay, fine. Let her have a normal life. But up to that point, her argument was still, let her be my sword.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when she pushes her away, gets back in the Ariel and flies towards Earth, the conversation she's having with Ari is, shouldn't we still bring her with? Which indicates, I still want to use her as a sword. Then Ari says something unseen to us, and that's when Prospera says, you're right, she should have her school life and friends, and then they fly off.
I don't think she's thinking of Suletta in object terms in that conversation. I think she's more thinking about, like, I would like to include my other daughter in the family activity kind of context. That's the way it feels to me.
I disagree via the context of Cradle Planet, where Ariel begs Prospera not to include Suletta because the context of that is only as a weapon. That's why Ariel in Cradle Planet says, we can do this together. I can be your weapon of vengeance. We don't need to include Suletta. Let her live a life as a little girl. And that's the context I'm bringing into this episode, because it seems to me to be the same context, unchanged by the passage of time.
So let's also talk about Ari a little bit and where Ari is, right?
A killer, as I've said.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But what's Ari's like actual like emotional age in there, right? We have like a whole bunch of like children going around laughing. She's knows a whole lot, cares a whole lot. Is she technically still a little child there, or is just her
by the way
impression?
So we're talking about Ari. I want to point out she did kill Suletta a little bit there. If you recall, anybody who's ever used the leak before dies a little bit, to the point where Elin 4 was told you can use it one more time and then you're going to die.
Yeah,
so the fact
other
that
people
she
can't get past permit 3, she just activates permit 8.
No, any use is slowly killing you. The higher the number, the more it's killing you. The fact that she literally burnt her out to indicate we don't need you anymore is an indication that despite Ari having the vestige of caring, she literally just reduced Soletta's life a little bit.
She literally went, we don't need you anymore, in a way that, like, does not spark compassion, and then literally ejected her into space.
Does not spark. I thought you were saying does not spark joy, like you're one of those room rearrangers. No, I'm saying it's literally like she got exposed to a nuclear reactor, right? Her lifespan has just been reduced via Ari's show of force.
So where does that put Ari in terms of like emotional spectrum? Like, how old is Ari?
I've already said Ari's a psychopathic killer. I've
but
said
is
that
it a child psychopathic killer, a teenage psychopathic killer, or a functional adult psychopathic killer, but with a child avatar?
I don't know. I don't have the emotional intelligence to read myself, let alone an anime character.
Fair.
I'm at least that self-aware.
It's definitely sort of hard to pin her down. I'm going to guess there's a bit of a, she's more machine now than anything else kind of vibe going on, too. That could also be read into it somewhere, I think.
I don't know, because she still has emotional connections. She still talks about things. She's literally referencing the Cradle Planet scene where Prospera and her play a game together. And then, as we already learned in Cradle Planet, she then goes on to play Ariel for like a year before she masters the game and gets over it.
Yeah, it's not black and white 100%. But there is like maybe the way that she's indicating facts and just stating things and pushing things forward. Maybe that indicates more of the way that she has to be more like a machine because of what her body is necessarily contained in. A machine.
I just don't read that. It all still has emotional semblance.
I'm reaching for it.
Well, I mean, because you even take Ein from Iron-Blooded Orphans. still filled with vengeance, no matter how much you take his body away.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think they've veered too far off course with their new version of Ein 2.0.
All I know is like Gundam is not the series that's going to be just like you're no longer human or anything like that. It's like no, Gundam's pretty good about actually addressing things and thinking about stuff. It wouldn't be so silly as to use a dumb cyberpunk metaphor, right?
God, I'm just thinking about how far back I was right. I think I was right in episode 1. Did we not go through a whole thing where I had pictures of literally the opening, the episode 1 opening, where Eri and Suletta are running next to each other and one's in ghost form and sits on top of Ariel.
And the whole time it seems metaphorical, but no, it's actually literal.
That was your argument. You thought it was a metaphor, and I posed that it was like, she's in there or something.
Theta, how does it feel that you will never be more right than this moment? It's only downhill from here.
It's not, because we have literally, I don't know how many episodes of Heavenly Delusion to go through. There's more Heavenly Delusion to go through than there is Witch from Mercury left.
You got more chances to be right. So, Theta, what was your other favorite drama moment from the episode? What other thing do you want to go
There's a lot
over?
to go through here. There's Laudna being the adopted son that apparently nobody had faith in, and the fact that he not only gets owned in a mobile suit, that he also gets owned in the field of business.
He literally can't succeed. That's been his entire story. He's as put upon as Ghoul is.
Well, I mean, as was shown when he
runs in the family.
As was shown when he passed out, that he had no time to take in anything. It's like the instant his dad died, he got put into business control, unable to take in the fact that his dad is dead and that Ghoul is still missing. And he just one thing after another, and he's taking in, and then he hears people bad-mouthing him, and it's like, okay, take a moment. Alright, let's keep walking.
He's on a journey too here, and I'm wondering where that's going to end up.
Well, because he's constantly saying that he's always supported his brother. So, it's always been off in the wings. Well, no, because he said that. He said that last episode, basically indicating that he supported Ghoul from the moment he was adopted.
Oh, there you go.
Because no, he says that I've always got your back since the moment I first met you. He said that, which has to be either before he got adopted or when he was adopted.
Oh gosh, I'm having Ranking of Kings flashback from that kind of line. It's like I always have your back.
Well, I mean, it's also a good way to explain why he's so up in arms against Suletta all the time. She's literally the one person who's dragged his brother down.
Continually. Yeah, no, there's a little bit of anger there. Literally arrives at the tomato garden just to yell at her.
And then we got the connection. Okay, wait a second. So Prospera is going to Earth with Ariel because Mjorn wants Ariel to be present at Quinn Harbor. Mjorn and Ghoul are heading down there with Kendall, who is the guy who killed Ndim. Does Prospera remember who this guy is?
100%. There is no shot Prospero does not take one look, go, I need to kill you today somehow, and ruins everything for everyone, causing more drama.
There was never a visual connection between her at the scene of the fight and Kendall. So
it's had like 20 years to research.
I mean, it's possible.
His name's probably everywhere.
I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying she had no visual encounter with him at that time. Also,
we got a prediction going.
Also, he's looked a lot different. Well, yeah, no, I mean, obviously the scene to read now is that
like gained 200
obviously
pounds.
The scene to read now is that she's going to show up at Quinn Harbor. He's going to be there, and she's going to fucking start a fight, which is going to ruin Mjorn's whole plan of showing them that they're not fighting, that they plan to use Gundam for medical purposes only.
Yeah, and then she teams up with Shadiq instead, etc., and a lot of things happen.
Well, I don't know about that part. I mean specifically that she's going to take vengeance on the first person available to her, because it probably serves her ends. Because we don't know where Quiet Zero begins, right?
Yeah. I think one last thing I'll probably note is I love the interactions we get between Noria and Ellen. Both characters who just do not give a shit one bit, antagonizing the hell out of each other. And also Elin like making the fine point of going, it's like, both of our lives are kind of disposable, huh?
I say, I don't love it when you call him Ellen.
Elon, I'll call
No,
him
you
now.
said Elon the
Lon.
second. You said Elon the second time before I was able to correct you. Because you started Noria and Ellen. And I'm like, what?
Elun.
Yeah, just try and say the number in the middle. L5N is the worst of the L5Ns.
Gosh, feels like I'm calling like a Star Wars robot.
It doesn't seem like Peel is taking into account that they have a rogue Elon anywhere. Because Master Elon says, you should have put me up for presidency. Not taking into account, again...
You did definitely catch that they said it's like, yeah, whoever has like the most favor is the real one.
But I mean, the point is that they're not taking into account that they've got a rogue Elon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe they don't know he's got a rogue. He's obviously hiding, because, they said you have this one last chance. And he literally took all of his shots up to tasing Suletta, possibly. And then he failed, and it looks like he ran off without, letting them give any indication that he was about to die. So maybe they don't even know that Elon's gone rogue yet. He's just sitting in someone's back pocket waiting to be pulled.
He is definitely going to pilot a mobile suit for Shadiq.
I doubt it, given the fact that he says, if I pilot a Gundam again, I'm going to die.
He's gonna be made to. Get in the mech, Shinji.
He cares too much about his life. He's literally said, I don't want to die.
Yeah?
He's said it out loud in those terms.
What a funny way to retire a character, right? Just give the informed idea, yeah, if I get in again, I'm done. So I'm just gonna sit on the side. Hey guys, I'm perfectly fine, but I don't have to be involved anymore.
Yeah, we killed the Elon that you like. Let's keep the Elon that you don't like alive.
Narrative death. That's what it is.
Balmora is working on something. We don't know what it is yet. I guess it's just something to do with Quiet Zero and parallel synchronicity or something like that.
Ariel is going to be controlling more Gundams than just one.
Well, we don't know what the plan is to use Quiet Zero for.
Yeah, we still got to see that. We don't have that much info. We got to see it.
I mean, we know more about what Quiet Zero is at the moment, but the fact is, it's just, what do we do with it? What are we doing with it? We know, no, that's right.
We made it, and now we got to find our reason.
They're implanting, or I guess they have implanted a node into Ariel for Quiet Zero. So guess what? Yeah. Does Earth have a major communications network? So is Ariel going to take over? Did they decide on 12 Ares for a reason? This Coven thing? There's 12 communication networks, and we need to take over each one of them?
Prospera sat down one day and went, you know what? I'm going to stick with the witch theme. We're going to call it a Coven. We're going to have 13 of them in there, and that's going to be
12.
Our theme.
12.
Well, 12 plus the pilot.
No, that's 11 plus...
Or 12 plus the original.
No, it's 11 plus the original. That's why it's 12. Remember, even in the song, it's 12.
Gotcha. All right. But yeah, no, gotta stick with the theme. Next year, we're gonna see, Prospera, bubbling a cauldron or something, I swear.
I guess my one hope is that we do get to a Season 3, and that we don't resolve everything here. We still continue on with the emotional depth, but then we start the intra-system war at the end of this season, and then we go into the major war themes of Gundam. See it in Season 3. I just don't want to let these characters go.
Oh, you're going to have to, because they're going to die. So, I think that probably wraps up all we got to say about Witch from Mercury for today. Well, I'm back with even more. This has been Stoneface Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin. That's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?